We are here in the beginning of Season 2 of my GMO. Very interesting what 2K did. I tried doing my own little version, 2K22. But 2K does in 2K23 just naturally. So we're going to draft our entire new roster. Very interesting, but the rankings stay the same. We're still at the top. Speaking of 2K22, this is the final catch-up statistic thing. Is all the MVPs we had in 2K22. Will any of these wrestlers be drafted here on 2K23 on Friday Night SmackDown? Let's get into the recap of what Season 1 ended with. We end Season 1 with Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan as our Universal Champion, 5-11 record. He started off Tag Champ, then he lost and lost and lost. Turned it around, one-time Universal Champion, one-time Tag Champ. When Season 1 ended, it looked like we didn't have a champ, so who knows, maybe Hogan is gone. Our SmackDown Women's Champ for Season 1, Lita, 6-8 record, one-time Women's Champ, just like Hogan, started off losing and losing, then turned it around to end the season as our champ. She might be gone as well. We might not have a champion, who knows. We have Cody Rhodes, our Intercontinental Champion, to end Season 1. Three-time Intercontinental Champion. Amazing for Cody Rhodes. 8-8 record. Use the picture of him with the mustache. Shout out Luis if he watches it. He knows he likes it. Ending Season 1, one half of our SmackDown Tag Team Champions, John Cena, 12-6 record, two-time Universal Champion, one-time Tag Champ, three-time MVP. Cena really killed it in Season 1. The other half of our Tag Team Champions to end Season 1, The Undertaker, 6-4 record, one-time Tag Champ, one-time MVP. Ending Season 1, one half of our Women's Tag Champs, Asuka with a 9-6 record, one-time Women's Tag Champ. Her and Natalya, only women to win those tag championships, didn't really use those tag titles that much. Asuka could have won a women's title, failed, but Asuka is champ. We have our other half of the women's tag champs, Natalya at a 7-12 record. She started off so hot, just completely went downhill. One-time tag champ, one-time MVP. We have Bayley ending Season 1 as one of the few wrestlers to hit that double-digit win mark. 10-5 record, one-time women's champ, two-time MVP. Bayley really killed it towards the later half of Season 1 due to the fact that she was champ and I gave her the card to just let her win her next 5 matches, but we don't have to talk about that. We have Bret the Hitman Hart, 8-5 record, two-time Universal Champion, one-time MVP. We have Gigi at a 7-6 record. I'm upset I couldn't help her win any titles. No women titles, no tag titles. That's on me, Gigi. We have the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin at a 7-7 record. He had opportunities to win the Universal title against Hulk Hogan, did not work out. Logan Paul with a 5-9 record was able not to get that 10th loss. That's impressive. Three-time Universal Champion, one-time MVP. We have Bianca Belair at a 5-8 record, our first women's champion, and ever since was not able to hold that title again. We have Shinsuke Nakamura at a 5-7 record, one-time Intercontinental Champion. We have the glorious Bobby Roode / Robert Roode at 6-11, was able to win the Intercontinental Championship last episode, but lost it to Cody Rhodes. We have The Miz at 6-11, just like Bobby, but this time instead of an IC title reign, The Miz is a one-time tag champ. We have Shayna Baszler at 5-10 record. Unfortunately, she hit that double-digit loss, but she is a one-time MVP. We have Raquel Rodriguez with a 2-6 record. It's a shame she has such a bad record. We stole her from NXT. Should have won some titles, but it is what it is. It is time for the Slapnuts MVP for the men and women's wrestler who will be taken away for Season 1. Hollywood Hulk Hogan is your male Slapnuts MVP who's able to win the Universal Championship, and he goes and he takes an MVP along with it.
Because Hollywood is just too sweet.
And your female Slapnuts MVP is Lita, just like Hogan, takes the Women's Championship and walks away with an MVP.
Payback's a bitch!
We are starting the beginning of Season 2, and I learned that after every season, you do a draft again, but you get to keep some of the wrestlers you drafted and signed. No legends, though. The legends are gone. And we decided to pick up Cena and Cody Rhodes, like Cena, cover boy. Cody Rhodes back from everywhere else, and they have high pop, and so do The Miz, and we picked those 3 guys. You see, we get 3 because we came in first, and you see the other picks by the other brands. Starting off the draft, Raw goes with Titus O'Neil. NXT picks up Doudrop. Then it comes to us, and I've been wanting LA Knight for so long, so we pick him, yeah.
Yeah!
Raw then picks up Roxanne with their second pick. NXT goes with Drew McIntyre. And we're stuck between Bayley, but we decide to go with Robert Roode. We want to bring back the wrestlers we had. Unfortunately, Raw takes Shayna Baszler. We no longer have Shayna, and we lose Natalya to NXT as well. And then we go and we see Randy Orton. We see the Legend Killer. It's time we bring him back to Beetlejuice. Raw then goes to pick the original bro Matt Riddle. NXT goes to pick up Mansoor. And then we see Mommy, and we want Mommy. We get Rhea. Tyler Breeze picks up Gunther with his next pick. Xavier goes to Commander Aziz. And then we go and we get Bayley back. Monday Night Raw then goes to pick up Ricochet. NXT goes and they take Gigi from us. But we go and we bring back Asuka because no one's ready. Tyler then goes to pick up Zoe Stark for Raw. Ridge Holland goes to NXT. And then we're confused. We don't know what we want to do. We look at our women. We need a woman. We go with Nikita. Monday Night Raw then picks up Chad Gable. Shoosh. R-Truth goes to NXT. I wanted R-Truth. We're conflicted. We want to bring back our wrestlers. We see Logan Paul. Should have picked up Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews with 95 pop. It's crazy. But we go and get Logan. Monday Night Raw goes and picks up Akira Tozawa. NXT goes and picks up Queen Zelina. And then we see Dakota Kai. Gilly loves King Coda, so we get the King. Raw then picks up Rick Boogs. Yeah, I love Rick Boogs. Raquel, we lose Raquel. Goes back to NXT. We pick up Lacey Evans, yet another newcomer. Raw then goes and picks up Tyler Bate. And NXT just said, we're done. We don't want to pick anyone else up. And we do the same thing. We have our roster. And then Monday Night Raw follows suit. And we all pick up our roster. These are the rosters going to Season 2. Very surprising. Apollo Crews with 95 pop did not get picked up. We're ready for Season 2. Triple H hitting up Beetlejuice. See if we're ready for the new season. We were made for this. Born. Beetlejuice came in first place and he's going to win it all. Last season we had Xavier Woods talk to us. Now we have Tyler Breeze talking. Very interesting. He's rubbing in the face he has Charlotte, but we got everyone we need. The Miz, carrying over from last season, wants a rematch. I said it earlier, the legends don't carry over, but fuck that. We put a lot of work into our legends. We pick up Bret Hart immediately with that pop. Immediately go for the dead man as well. We forgot we had the free legend card, but it's fine. We used Birth of the Legends, boost up 6 of our wrestlers. Miz was already at 100, but it was a waste. But it's alright, we got 5 others. On to the first SmackDown Season 2, Asuka versus Bayley. We need new champions. Cody's our only current champion, and Bayley's still hot, beating Asuka and winning back the title. Cody Rhodes, we do some advertising. I'm stuttering. We need money. Logan Paul versus LA Knight. Logan Paul picks up the win against LA Knight. Then we have Bret Hart doing advertising. Like we said, they have a lot of pop. We need money. Nikita versus King Coda. Nikita picks up the win in a disappointing match. We have to build them up. We have a lot of wrestlers killing it. Rhea Ripley, advertisement. New Universal Champion, The Miz, Cena, Undertaker, Robert Roode. 2 of our biggest pops, and Cena picks up the win. He is the new champ.
Name is John Cena!
On to the new NXT, Shotzi versus Raquel. Raquel immediately gets pushed and wins the NXT Women's Champ. Congrats to Raquel. Looks like she won't want to jump ships this time. Kramer Grimes does a self-promo. Natalya versus Gigi, 2 of our former wrestlers. And Natalya picks up the win against Gigi. NXT took 3 of our women wrestlers. MVP does a promo. Champ. He came over from last season as champ. Doudrop beats Queen Zelina. Starts a rivalry. Drew McIntyre cuts a promo. Commander Aziz versus Mansoor, 1-on-1, and Mansoor picks up the win. R-Truth ran in on them. On to the new Monday Night Raw, Akira Tozawa versus Rick Boogs for the WWE title. No Finn Balor, and Akira Tozawa is your new WWE champion. Shayna Baszler, we miss you, but immediately calling out Nikki ASH. Chad versus Tyler versus Finn versus Titus. Chad Gable picks up the win. It's not looking great for Finn Balor. Nikki does some charity after getting called out. Ricochet versus Gunther versus Matt Riddle for the U.S. Championship, and Gunther picks up the win. We have defending champs Charlotte and Karen, both kept from last season, go against Zoe and Roxanne, and they defend their titles. Still killing it on Raw, just like we're still killing it.
I got a lot wrong, brother.
We had Tyler Breeze talking trash, bringing up how they have Charlotte Flair, and then Xavier Woods talks trash, rubbing in that they have Natalya on us. Very heartbreaking. Miz is happy. I talked about how we have Legend Whispers. We immediately use it. Look to see what legends are available and who else but Lita coming back to SmackDown. We start off SmackDown with John Cena, the new Universal Champion, versus Robert Roode, and the Glorious One picks up the win in a great match. Two of our highest pop wrestlers. We did Logan his promise, turned him good guy. Linkita Asuka versus Lacey and Dakota. Rhea ran in on Asuka, and it doesn't even matter. They still pick up the win. Tried to push King Coda. Brett has the pop available to get us more money. Triple threat, Cody, LA Knight, Randy Orton. Cody picks up the win. LA Knight, Cody rivalry started. Changed Lita to a good guy. The Miz versus Undertaker, they started a rivalry. We're continuing it. And the Dead Man picks up the win. On to NXT, we have Doudrop versus Queen Zelina inside of Hell in a Cell. Doudrop picks up the win. Xavier does not do any promos. Continues the rivalry. Two of our former wrestlers, Gigi and Raquel, which Raquel was on NXT originally, then jumps ship, not drop. Picks up the win. Shotzi versus Natalya, another one of our former wrestlers, and Shotzi picks up the win against Natalya. Starts a rivalry. Mace versus Commander Aziz, one-on-one, and Commander Aziz picks up the win. On to Raw, Kira Tozawa versus Rick Boogs for the title. Again, Iron Man match. Gunther runs in, possibly costs Rick Boogs that title. Matt Riddle does some charity. Then we have Zoe Stark versus the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, your double champ, picks up the win in an okay match. Chad Gable, after winning the Fatal 4-Way, calls out Tyler Bates. Roxanne versus Karen. And Karen and Charlotte are just dominating Raw. It used to be Finn as well, but Finn just does charity now. Shayna calls out Nikki, gets the main event, false count anywhere, it doesn't matter. Nikki picks up the win in a classic, but we're still at the top.
You ain't got no match for me.
We turn Lita face so she could face Bayley for the title. She never lost, and Lita wins that championship right back against Bayley. Starts a rivalry. You love to see it. Turn Bret Hart into a bad guy. He's been good long enough. Rhea versus Asuka tried to interfere, and Mommy picks up the win against Asuka in her debut match on SmackDown. We turn Bret heels for this, so Logan Paul has someone to feud against. Undertaker versus The Miz, and The Undertaker picks up the win against The Miz yet again. Nikita does a promo. This Fatal 4-Way was supposed to be for the IC title, but it's for the Universal. Robert Roode runs in on Cena, and Cody Rhodes picks up the win against Randy, LA Knight, and John Cena. He's a double champ, ladies and gentlemen.
Adrenaline in my soul.
On NXT, we have Commander Aziz versus Mansoor, one-on-one to start it off. And Commander Aziz picks up the win, starts a rivalry. Gigi, after losing, calls out the champ Raquel. Drew McIntyre goes one-on-one with the NXT champion, MVP. And Drew picks up the win, starts a rivalry. Future champ? Who knows? Rich Holland does a promo. Carmelo Hayes goes one-on-one with Mace. Carmelo Hayes picks up the win. Is that a new signing? I don't feel like NXT drafted them. Maybe they kept Carmelo. Shotzi cuts a promo. Doudrop versus Queen Zelina versus Natalya. Extreme Rules, and Doudrop picks up the win. We have Karen versus Roxanne one-on-one to start off Raw, and Karen picks a win and continues to dominate. I had to look back. Mace and Carmelo Hayes were kept by NXT. Rick Boogs cuts a promo. Kira Tozawa versus Titus O'Neil one-on-one. Kira Tozawa is done with Rick Boogs, picks up the win against Titus in a mediocre match. Ali Brawler calls out Zoe. Gunther defends his title against Ricochet, and you have a new United States champion. Gunther, and gets injured. He should have been focused on his title. Bates does a promo. Shayna versus Nikki, Iron Woman match, and Nikki picks up the win. They're loving this rivalry. Shayna's going to the top, just like we are.
Hell yeah.
We have LA Knight coming up to us telling us he has a great idea, and that's to team up with John Cena, but we're at a dilemma because he has a rivalry with Cody Rhodes. They're both faces. I have to turn LA Knight heel, but Cena's a face. I don't know how to team them up. We'll see what happens. Cena, I'm sorry you lost the Universal title. We gave you the rematch. You deserve it. We sign Edge to SmackDown to a permanent deal. We start off with the rivalry of Lita and Bayley. Wanted to do this, but they were both heels. Lita was feuding with Talia, and now we get it. They're going to feud for that title. We turn LA Knight heel so he can feud with Cody successfully. Cody defends his new Universal title against John Cena. Cena's your new champion. We brought Edge to SmackDown, not to be a good guy, but be the rated R superstar. Nikita and Asuka defend their tag titles against Rhea and Lacey. It doesn't matter because no one is ready for them. Starts a rivalry. Asuka's the best tag champion we had. Miz does some advertising. Continue Logan versus Brett. They're killing it, and Logan Paul picks up the win against the Hitman. On to NXT, we have Mansoor versus Mace in a backstage brawl. Mansoor picks up the win. Xavier, yet again, no promos. Raquel defends her title against Doudrop in a tables match. Doudrop, new women's champ. Where's Gigi in this? Don't know. Speaking of titles, MVP defense against R-Truth in a tables match. MVP. Wow, Xavier's just throwing title shots everywhere. Shotzi versus Queen Zelina TLC match. There is no title, but Shotzi picks up the win against the Queen. Raw has Fatal 4-Way action. Nikki versus Charlotte versus Zoe versus Ali Brawler. Nikki picks up the win against all of them. Continues the rivalry, actually. Kira Tozawa cuts a promo. Last man standing match. Chad versus Tyler. Tyler got called out, and he shut up Chad Gable. Rick Boogs has just been cutting promos since he lost to Akira. Titus versus Finn versus Matt Riddle. Finn Balor seems to be getting something going now. Ricochet calls out Gunther after beating him. That's kind of messed up. Roxanne, Karen, Iron Woman match. Karen just continues to dominate Roxanne, like how we dominate the leaderboard.
I'm Beetlejuice, baby.
Here it comes. The Legends contracts are running out. Bret Hart comes up to us, but we have one contract available to give Bret. So we tell him, listen, Bret, we're not paying you nothing. You're going to take this extension. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. The Undertaker, we don't have an extension for him, so we just have to pay him his money, which it's alright. We built those legends up, and we're keeping them. We love our wrestlers. Cena's happy he got his title rematch. We say, you're welcome, John. Rated R superstar. We turn him heel, and he immediately says, I want a match on the next show. And that's why we brought you in, buddy, so you can dominate SmackDown. WrestleMania Backlash, Miz vs. Undertaker, Extreme Rules, two of our best wrestlers, and The Miz picks up the win in a classic, completes their rivalry. Asuka does some advertising, we need money. Cody defends his IC title in a tables match against LA Knight, and LA Knight has won the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah!
Nikita does a self-promo, trying to build up those new wrestlers we drafted. Lita versus Bayley, TLC. Will Lita lose? And she doesn't. She cannot be stopped. She's been on a roll ever since she won that women's championship. Lacey does a promo, trying to build them up. Fatal 4-Way, Cena, Edge, Randy, Robert Roode. I meant to put the title on the line, actually. Edge picks up the win, starts a rivalry with Randy. Dakota Kai does a promo. Bret Hart versus Logan Paul, Extreme Rules, and the Hitman picks up the win and shuts Logan up. On to NXT's Backlash. We have Queen Zelina versus Doudrop Tables match, and Queen Zelina has won the title. It's just flipping, flopping everywhere. Natalya versus Shotzi one-on-one. Is this a rivalry? I don't know what's happening on NXT. It is. Okay then, a good match. Ridge Holland versus R-Truth. I think this is Ridge's first match on NXT in Season 2. Disappointing, that makes sense. I think this is Cameron Grimes' first match against Drew McIntyre. Title match. Cameron Grimes pick up the win. Didn't Drew call out MVP? Anyway, two of our former wrestlers, last woman standing, Gigi versus Raquel, and Gigi picks up the win. Tyler Breeze's Raw's Backlash, Karen versus Roxanne, and Roxanne finally beats Karen. Ooh, Karen's in trouble. Matt Riddle cuts a promo, I don't know what I'm saying. Zoe versus Ali Brawler, one-on-one, and Ali Brawler picks up the win against Zoe. Nikki calls out Shayna. I'm confused with the universe mode. Finn Balor goes one-on-one with Rick Boogs, and Rick Boogs picks up the win. I believe they were fighting in Season 1. Charlotte Flair cuts a self-promo. Chad Gable versus Tyler Bates Iron Man match. Tyler Bates continues to beat Chad Gable. Ricochet yet again calls out Gunther, saying, ha ha, I won, you lost. Akira Tozawa versus Titus for the WWE title Iron Man match. Akira Tozawa is just defending that title and winning like crazy, doing what Finn Balor did. Just like how we're at the top. After Backlash, we give Xavier Woods praising us, saying game recognizes game. Unfortunately, we don't recognize you, Xavier. You're not doing great. Some reason Tyler Breeze also giving us our credit. Maybe it's because we're in first place. Cody Rhodes back in Charlotte, wants a match, and this is what we want. The rated R superstar. He's a heel. He don't care. He wants a title match after winning. You got it, buddy. We get the legendary brand shake-up. That means we get to keep Bret, Undertaker, and Lita for the rest of the season. We're going to have to constantly spending money on them. It's great for us to keep up our money. See you all next time.